How can we know God? Throughout time, every culture has done its best to express inexpressible in words. And the mystics of each culture have done it obliquely, indirectly.
From the 13th century Sufi master Jalaluddin Rumi. In truth, everything and everyone is a shadow of the beloved. And our seeking is his seeking, and our words are his words. We search for him here and there while looking right at him. Sitting by his side, we ask, O beloved, where is the beloved?
From the 14th century Buddhist text, All Creating King Tantra. I am the core of all that exists. I am the seed of all that exists. I am the cause of all that exists. I am the root of existence. I am the core because I contain all phenomena. I am the seed because I give birth to everything. I am the cause because all comes from me. I am the trunk because the ramifications of every event sprout from me. I am the foundation because all abides in me. I am called the root because I am.
From the 14th century Christian theologian Meister Eckhart. God expects but one thing of you, and that is that you should come out of yourself, insofar as you are a created being made, and let God be God in you. To be full of things is to be empty of God. To be empty of things is to be full of God.
On the first day of orientation, on my first day of seminary, on what was then the first day of the rest of my life, I walked in to the auditorium at Unity Village, and I sat down next to a young woman whom I had not yet met, one of my classmates. I introduced myself to her, and she to me. Her name was Kristen. And I asked her, what brought you to this place? And her answer was, I want to be one with Spirit. Now, we each come into this world with different spiritual gifts, each in varying degrees. And as it turned out, one of her greatest gifts was that of public prayer. When Kristen prayed, oceans of energy moved around the room, always. I recently had lunch with one of our own congregants who within the past month has made the personal commitment to become a licensed Unity teacher. And on that day, I asked her, what brought you to this decision? And she said, I want to be one with Spirit. It so happens that one of her most powerful gifts is that of public prayer. And I know that that gift grows more each day without it. At our core, at our essence, be it spoken or unspoken, conscious or unconscious, I know each and every one of us wants the same thing. We have the same answer that these two women shared with me. each of us can say, I want to become one with Spirit. We want this not as a belief, not as a thought or as a philosophy. We want it on the deepest personal level, a knowing beyond knowing. You. It's you. If I ask you to put your hand in this water, it will become what? Wet. Go ahead, I have a towel. Okay, that's good. Don't want to relax. You can dry yourself. Thank you very much. You okay? And if I ask you to safely cup your hands around this flame, they will become what? Warm. I said safely. Warm. When you're wet or warm, you know that experience not as a philosophy, not as a thought, not as a belief. You know it as a direct experience. If you're standing in the rain without an umbrella, you're saying, I'm wet. If you're in front of a campfire, a safe distance, you're somewhere between warm and hot. And it's not a belief, it's not a thought, it's a direct experience. A direct experience. And that's what we want with God. We want a direct experience with God, as direct as a wet hand or a warm hand. And you can have that experience. You can know the nature of God directly. I'd like you to think of a time in your life, a time when there was a lot of negativity going on within you, or anger, or resentment. Okay, you've got one of those times in mind. Now you know what your body feels like when you're in that space, correct? You know how your body feels? Go to your heart. You know how your heart feels when you're living within that kind of dis-ease. You may even know how your spirit feels when you're there. That's not a thought or a belief. That's a direct experience. It's a direct experience of what it feels like, outwardly and inwardly, to be in a negative cloud. And denying it, simply denying that it doesn't exist, that doesn't help. It only allows it to become bigger and go deeper. It is part of who you are, that experience. There is a reality to it. There is an energy to it. You know the space that you occupy when you're in that cloud of negativity. But, if you can allow yourself to grow past that point, if you can allow yourself to move beyond that cloud of negativity, it may still be there, but you are now witnessing it. You are now beholding it. You are now no longer a part of it. And then you can release it. Last Sunday, I asked how many of you, we did this, it was a confidential survey. I asked you to close your eyes, and everybody did. And I asked the question, how many of you have tensions or problems in your life? If you do, raise your hand. Well, I can safely report that every hand was up. Mine as well. Then with eyes open, I asked another question, and that was, how many of you want to live without tensions or problems in your life? And again, every hand went in the air. And then we went on to look at how to do that. How to live on the middle path of life, the path of spiritual masters. How to live at the center of life. What is called in a beautiful Eastern text, what's called the Tao, the way, the center way, the middle way, the center of life. And it's at the center of life that all peace resides, that all power resides, that the truest passion resides. Some people, I think, believe that if you become a spiritual master and you're just walking down that middle path, you never get excited, you never get too joyful, you never get too sad. You're just kind of like, It's not true. You can experience all of life's emotions at the deepest possible level when you're on that middle path. You give up nothing. You gain the world and give up nothing. How does a blind person navigate life? They walk down the street with a cane, tapping from side to side. You see, they're not seeking where to walk. They're seeking the extremes of where not to walk, and then they don't go there. That is how we live on the middle path of life, by not living at the extremes, by not feeding our energy, our life force, our psychic force, our emotional force, our spiritual force into the extremes of gossip, blind competition, anger, resentment, revenge, simple, everyday, ordinary, garden variety, upset. That's an extreme, that's kind of a background extreme. Have you ever asked yourself, how does my body feel? Oftentimes, and I'm not saying it has to be this way, but oftentimes you go, oh, my body doesn't feel that great. And I got kind of a quirk here and a hitch there. And if you got too many of those, I got the guy that can straighten you out. So I've sent many of you his way. If you ask your mind how it feels, and you're honest, oftentimes your mind will say, I'm not that happy. I thought I could have been a lot happier, and I'm just not that happy. Because this just everybody isn't doing exactly what I want. And then you ask how your heart feels, and your emotions, you go, well, no, my emotions could be much, much better. The middle path. The more that you move away from the extremes in life, the more one with spirit you are. I want to say it again. The more you move away from the extremes of life, the more one with spirit you are. We each have at least 4 bodies. Maybe there are more. I'm aware of 4. We have a physical body, an emotional body, a psychic or psychological body, and a spiritual body. Each one of these bodies are interconnected. Ernest Holmes, the founder of religious science and a good friend to Charles and Myrtle Fillmore, the co-founders of Unity, said body, mind, and spirit are not separate. They are not isolated. They are a unity. That said, and these now are my words, they are different. They are different. Each one of our bodies vibrates at a different frequency. At a different frequency. The physical body vibrates at the lowest frequency, and then it's the emotional body and the psychological body, and the highest level of vibration is the spiritual body.